Alleva Coppolo. Jimmy Coppolo got his start as a repairman in New York's 48th strip music scene. He worked on Fender basses from the 50s and 60s and learned the secrets of tone by putting them apart. Eventually, Jimmy started making basses that could match the sound and feel of a holy grail, like a 59 Precision or a 62 Jazz bass, but also withstand the night after night abuse. Jimmy's instruments are inspired by the road and designed for the most demanding players. The premium woods, comfortable compound radius, and the use of active electronics that can be moved out of the way at the flick of a switch make it a great instrument for all players. The models you should be looking at are the KBP, which replicates the rocking, punching sound of the classic Precision. The LG, which offers an alder body, 5-knob rendition of the classic 60s jazz bass. The LM series features the same specs as the LG, but is closer to 70s jazz bass sounds with a beefier rocking sound. The 81009 series, with a proprietary pickup and available with a pine body, resembles the first Telecaster bass from the early 50s. These basses can be compared to Fender Custom Shop in quality and price. So, if they fit your budget, it's good to give them a try. Dingwall Guitars. The electric bass guitar didn't change that much since Leo invented the Precision. That was until the fan-fretted instruments showed up. These basses use a different scale for each string, correcting small intonation issues players have carried for over half a century. Dingwall offers instruments with a 32-inch scale at the first string, and a 34.25-inch scale at the fourth. This ensures perfect intonation on every fret. I know, it's not for the faint of heart, but it's a leap of faith into the future. That's not all. Dingwall basses come with proprietary hardware and electronics. Their SP1 model is perfect fan-fret substitution for the Fender American Ultra, and comes at a similar price. Sound-wise, the Dingwall basses can work in any musical style from heavy to funk, thanks to the PJ configuration and the 4-position rotary pickup selector. If you want something that's Fender-like but adds the comfort and precision of modern instrument making, this is the perfect brand to look for. Eastwood. Eastwood was founded by Michael Robinson in Ontario, Canada in 2001. The company specializes in bringing back odd one-off and rare vintage designs from the 50s and 60s back to life in the shape of current playable basses. The Eastwood Mach 2 is the perfect bass for those trying to take the sound and feel of a traditional Fender P bass further into fast-paced aggressive playing. This instrument takes that one step beyond by modifying the body to match a Mosrite look. Nothing is more punk-oriented than Mosrite instruments. Well, maybe a semi-hollow bass with a P-bass pickup like their Hooky model. The solid basswood body helps the low end and also tames the highs from the maple neck with a rosewood fingerboard. The split coil does the rest, bringing enough power to push the band forward without losing the edgy tone that can make a crowd dance and jump. Available in classic black and white, this is the kind of instrument Dee Ramone would be proud to see you with. It's got Fender DNA and stage-ready looks and tone. Price-wise, it's around the $1,000 mark, which will get you close to a Mexican Fender Precision from the Player 2 line. In comparison, the Fender will sound more modern and will not have such a big low end, while the alder body will push the mid-highs to the front, making it an edgier instrument. Punk rockers, this is a strong candidate you should check out. ESP. Hisatake Shibuya founded Electric Sound Products in Tokyo in 1975. He began making top-quality parts and pieces. Demand grew so much the company expanded into guitar making in 1983. In 1990, they bought Schecter, and by 1995, they had LTD as an affordable line after expanding worldwide. LTD is the brand they use to manufacture all basses. The most Fender-like is the Surveyor 204DX. It's a typical 4-string P-bass body with a burl poplar top veneer over a poplar body. All the body reliefs are closer to the Ultra line than the American Vintage, and the satin finish on the roasted maple neck makes it sleek and fast. While it's a typical 34-inch with a top-loader bridge, the extra jumbo frets and 15.75-inch radius make it more modern than classic. Speaking of which, the pickups are Spitfire beasts ready to take over the world at the flick of a switch. Yes, the active tone boost takes the signal to the front of the mix effortlessly. Otherwise, the passive, generic, single-coil PJ pickups can cover vast sonic ground. The second model to look at from this brand is their Orion 4, although it draws more from the offset era. The Fender DNA DNA is undeniable. To begin with, the Jazzmaster-like body made of highly resonant and snappy swamp ash features a bolt-on 3-piece maple neck with a Makassar ebony fingerboard. That's enough edge and growl to cut the fabric of reality. Nevertheless, the active circuit and the Nordstrand big split single coil pickups are powerful, muscular, and deliver generous low end. Those looking for a rocking Fender model at the price of a Squire, this might be it. Fodera. Fodera was the top of the crop since their first instrument left the factory. These bass guitars are known for their attention to detail, unrivaled performance, and the use of exotic and rare woods in the construction. The company was opened in 1983 by Vinny Fodera, a master luthier, and Joey Loricella, a pro bass player, and could have gone into a mass-producing monster. Nevertheless, its owners decided to keep it a small operation to retain full quality. Nowadays, it's still a family-owned company employing 15 highly trained craftsmen who build only in Industry City, New York. So, what makes Fodera basses so expensive? Is it the materials, the craftsmen, the quality, or just hype? Well, it's a combination of all of the above. The results experienced personnel with tenure can offer in every step of the production process can't be replicated with mass-produced instruments. Fodera basses can be seen on the biggest stages around the world, and can only be compared to custom shop Fender in quality and price. You get their yin-yang model with a PJ configuration, or go for the Emperor with dual jazz bass single coil or humbucker pickups. Fodera makes every part of every bass as a custom piece and works every last detail in the production line and custom model line. That's of course besides employing rare precious wood like Purple Heart to make their yin-yang model. As you might know, legend Victor Wooten helped create it, so it was taken through exhaustive testing by one of the best in the planet. They say it best. If your budget allows it, bass guitars don't get much better than this, period. G&L. Instead of speaking about specific models when talking about the relationship between G&L and Fender, we have to talk about history. After Leo sold Fender in '65, he didn't just relax, he worked on other companies, including one with his buddy George Fullerton. Yes, G is for George and L is for Leo. They might not have had any imagination for names, but they changed the history of music. The company offers an affordable choice with their Tribute series, but also not so affordable USA-made Fullerton series models. These are all inspired by Leo's different inventions. The JB honors the jazz bass. The SB and the LB honor the precision. Some short-scale ones like the Fallout honor the Mustang. The M series resembles the Stingray, and the Kiloton series is a very interesting mix of Music Man and jazz bass. As for sounds, you can expect something very close to Fender but cleaner, more polished, and less raw than the Big F. Harley Benton. The European giant Thomann founded Harley Benton as an in-house low-cost brand to make replicas in 1998. After new management arrived in 2012, their instruments started being recognized not just as cheap replacements but as a real choice. Nowadays it offers over 3,000 products in its catalog. All you heard is true. Harley Benton makes playable, very affordable, good-looking copies of most big brand instruments. Their take on Fender models isn't any different from the rest. What you can expect from Harley Benton are entry-level instruments with fancy finishes and cool colors, alternative wood types, generic pieces and parts, and a sound that's closer to modern Fender than single-coil extra mojo noisy vintage tones. Their deluxe series with matching headstocks and block inlays doesn't sound or look exactly like the real deal, but it's the closest you can get in the price range. Ibanez. By the mid-90s, after Nirvana and grunge hit hard, everyone was making offset guitars and basses. Ibanez released their version of it, adding some Ibanez specs in the way. They called it the Talman series. Currently, the line offers an entry-level bass, the TMB-30, with a short 30-inch scale, a Jatoba fretboard over a maple neck, and a poplar body. The pickup configuration is the same as in the entire line, a PJ that offers edge and body depending on where you put the mix knob. The TMB 100 is the same with a full-size scale of 34 inches and active electronics. The 400 series adds an ash top to the poplar body and a real rosewood fretboard. The top of the line is the flat-back TMB 402, featuring an Okume body and ebonol fingerboard. All of them share the thin, fast, slick Ibanez-like neck and the clean, powerful tone. For a very comfortable Fender on steroids, these are a good option. Lakland. With modern and classic models, Lakland covers the past and present of Fender basses with instruments that can only be rivaled by Fender's lines. That's not all, because the brand also came up with a combination of their own by adding a jazz bass pickup to a Music Man humbucker, the 4402 in the Skyline series, and the 4414 in the Classic. That was indeed the first company innovation introduced shortly after it was founded by bassist Dan Lakland and luthier Hugh McFarlane in January 1994. By July of the same year, they presented their first prototype of this hybrid at NAMM. McFarlane left in 1997, and the company was bought by Hanson Musical Instruments in 2010. The most affordable in the Skyline series, that's made outside the USA using premium woods and parts and offers playability and sound to rival the originals. It starts close to the Fender made in Mexico Player 2 series, but it goes all the way to American Professional in price and specs. The Classic and USA series offer the best the brand can make and are only rivaled by Fender's top-notch basses like American Vintage, Ultra, and Custom Shop. We're talking about premium tone woods, top-shelf electronics, and proprietary hardware. If they fit your budget, they're one of the best-sounding options on this list. Lull. Mike Lull started repairing instruments at the local guitar shop at age 17. By 21, he had his own shop. Mike Lull's Guitar Works opened in Bellevue in 1976. After building instruments for artists the size of Bob Dylan, he opened his own bass and guitars line in 1995. Mike Lull's basses are worldwide famous for their fit and finish, but also for their construction quality. Although the company's owner and founder, Mike Lull, passed away in 2020, his family carries on the business with the same attention to detail. There's no way you can go wrong with a Mike Lull instrument. They belong to the highest tier in terms of manufacturing materials and sound quality. The company divides its builds into modern and vintage basses, and you can get a P-bass, a jazz bass, like the V4, or a combination of the two. Another thing to note about Mike Lull's basses is that every unit is assembled by a small team of craftsmen just outside Seattle, and runs through a PLEK machine before leaving the factory to ensure perfect playability and intonation. Their basses are not affordable, however, they can become lifelong companions. Music Man. Music Man was Leo's silent collaboration with two innovators who were making daring new things, but found themselves a little lost. The legendary Stingray has Fender DNA from its car-inspired name, to the bolt-on neck, but brought a new thing to the bass world, the power of an active humbucker near the bridge. For those in search of close to Fender tones, the Stingray with a maple neck and a maple fretboard is the best choice. Moreover, the Stingray just got its preamp updated to run at 18 volts, which means 3-band EQ is loaded with enough power to straighten the Tower of Pisa. That's not all. The neodymium pickups and enhanced contours make it almost 1 pound lighter than it used to be. Those who want more firepower can opt for the dual humbucker model or an ultra-modern bongo. This bass features a 4-band EQ besides the dual neodymium humbuckers, and is available with an ebony fingerboard for the ultimate edge and snap. For punchy, aggressive, funky tones, Music Man is hard to beat. Reverend. Reverend is a brand known for its tone experiments and its bold designs. The Reverend Sentinel is a professional-grade short-scale Carina precision bass, with an offset body that boasts enough tonal variations to be an all-terrain tool. The company teamed up with Joe Naylor to come up with a 3-voicing circuit for the traditional P-bass split-coil pickup. As a result, every position, bright, normal, and deep, can serve a different purpose in the same gig. With a Carina neck and a 12-inch radius rosewood fingerboard, this is a serious option for those after a Fender-friendly, unique tone in a small package ready to hit the road. Sadowsky. Sadowsky is a German musical instruments manufacturer that has been making top-shelf basses since 1979. Their creations are very close to Fender, Warwick, and Music Man, but are famous for being super lightweight and for their oil finish necks. Recently, the company launched the Metro Express line that's manufactured overseas with alternative woods and simplified electronics to keep prices low. These can be compared to Player 2 Fender models, but with a twist because they feature enhanced, more complex electronics and different tone woods. For example, the Metro Express PJ comes with active electronics with a 2-band active EQ. Furthermore, the body is made okume, which is an alternative for mahogany. As a result, this is a bass with an edge and snap, but with a huge low end and massive growl. For bulkier budgets, the Metroline Custom Shop and Master Built series are what you call a blank check. You can find basses made of koa, ash, or paddock with ebony, rosewood, or pau ferro fingerboards. These can be chosen from an inventory or can be made to spec. Quality-wise, they can be compared to the instruments made in Fender's Dream Factory. Sandberg. Sandberg makes classy reproductions of Fender classics with one huge caveat. Buying from them is closer to ordering a custom instrument than to buying a mass-produced bass guitar. This is because you can choose all options, including pickup configurations, controls, colors, and shapes. This is a German company offering great specs at affordable prices. For example, you can expect real alder, Canadian hard rock maple, and rosewood, and even the choice to add some rare wood to the mix. The models you should be looking at are the California V, California T, and the Electra bass. That said, all of them can be bought with a P bass or jazz bass pickup combination. Schecter. Schecter is a brand commonly associated with metal, especially with nu metal. Although they also feature exotic woods, the company named their Fender-like basses line Exotic. And it truly is like finding an oasis in a thick heavy metal forest. The lineup is made of 3 models: the jazz bass in the J4, with a traditional alder body, a modern 16-inch radius, and dual single coil pickups. The P4 Precision model is made of swamp ash with a zebra wood top, and it's an active bass with a 2-band EQ to shape the sound. The last one is a PJ bass made of black limba, with a roasted maple neck and an ebony fingerboard. The pickups are loaded with ceramic magnets, and the tone is fat, big, and menacing, as every righteous metal bass should be. For those in search of a Fender sound on the heavier side, these are great options. Sire. Sire makes good quality replicas of classic and timeless instruments with a few tweaks. The company makes basses like the suspiciously Fender-like V3 in Midnight Blue, and others like the V10 or the Z7, which are closer to Music Man and even Warwick. Marcus Miller was instrumental in taking the brand to the quality level it's at today. It's not surprising their instruments have Fender DNA. He was endorsed by Fender for years. You can find here some of the best recreations of jazz bass and precision basses, like their P5 and some oddballs with great craftsmanship and premium tone woods, at the price you'd pay for a Mexican Fender Standard or Player 2. SX. SX is an affordable version of Squier, which is an affordable version of Fender. SX is a company that manufactures musical instruments en masse and offers them at a fraction of the price other companies do. They make reproductions of classics like the Precision and the Jazz bass. They even make a Jayco-like, no pickguard sunburst jazz bass, the SJB75C. Mostly, they make working bass guitars that stay in tune and age considerably well. That said, QA isn't always the best. Therefore, it's best to avoid buying these online. You should try the instrument itself. Otherwise, you might get a misfit. Made with alternative woods and generic parts, these are great candidates for a usable first bass. Yamaha. Not everybody knows this, but Yamaha was founded by a piano repairman and builder, Torakusu Yamaha, in 1887. The 3 intertwined tuning forks in the logo remain proof of the musical beginnings of the Japanese giant. Yamaha has been making top-notch musical instruments in every category, and basses are no exception to that rule of excellence. The BB line of basses by Yamaha is close to being a classic on its own, since it was first introduced in 1977, although they borrow quite a bit from Fender, starting with the alder bodies and the maple necks to the PJ pickup configuration. The brand also added some touches of its own, like the mahogany stripes on the neck. The BB line features 4 models. The most affordable is the BB234. The mid-tier is represented by the BB434 and the BB734, and the top of the line is the BBP34. They equal Squier, Fender Mexico, and Fender American Professional in price. In specs, even the most affordable model is made of real alder, which is impossible to find in Squier.